Hello everybody, hopefully you can hear us okay. We are here today to give you a demo of how Love It Stitch It works. So hopefully you can see our beautiful floral design here within the Love It Stitch It design tool. We'll give it a few seconds just to wait for people to join us. So we're going to be walking you through all of the main features and functions today, and this is really beginner friendly, very easy to follow, so you should be able to get started yourself. You can open up your browser now if you're watching this live or watching it back. Just head to loveitstitchit.com and you can do this with us at the same time, or you can make notes, watch this back later and design your own pattern of anything you like. So I'm just going to double check that everything is working okay, and we are on. Absolutely perfect. So you should be able to see our lovely screen. We have got a few people on live, so welcome. Any questions while we're doing this as well, please leave them in the comments down below. I will be answering your questions for me and Sophie. And if you're watching this back, please do keep asking the questions, because we'll revisit the comments and we will answer absolutely everything. If you're watching this on another social media platform, again, please ask all of your questions down below and we will get back to you. So before we kick off, obviously you can't see us today, you can just hear our voices. But for those of you who don't know, hello everyone, I'm Sally. And I am the founder and designer at Caterpillar Cross Stitch, and Love It Stitch It was my idea years and years ago. So I've been working on this for years, and we launched in May 2022. And I have with me the lovely Sophie. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Sophie and I'm marketing manager here at Love It Stitch It, and I'll be helping with the demo today.
Fantastic. So let's crack on. Let's get started. I can see, oh hi Nikki Heppenstall is on. Hope you're ready to go, Nikki. So if anyone wants to design with us live, just head over to loveitstitchit.com, and you might have already registered for an account. It's completely free to register. Enter your details and sign up for a free account, and you will be able to get started. We do have a free trial on the designer, so click on that and you can design something with us. Okay, let's get cracking. So what is Love It Stitch It first of all? So Love It Stitch It makes creating cross stitch patterns really accessible and easy. You could be a complete beginner, you could be a seasoned cross stitch professional. It allows you to create designs that are uniquely yours. You can then see mock-ups of your creation as you go, and then most importantly, create a full PDF pattern so you can stitch your pattern yourself. You could upload it to our marketplace or another marketplace to then sell your pattern on and share it with the world. If you love your pattern so much, I've jumped ahead, share it with others. So we'd love you to obviously design within the Love It Stitch It designer and upload your gorgeous creation to our marketplace, which is also hosted on loveitstitchit.com. And we've got hundreds of cross stitch patterns on there for you to choose from if you want to shop cross stitch patterns. We've got Tiny Modernist on there. I think we have over 600 patterns.
We do, yeah.
Over 600. And our job is to share your gorgeous creations with stitchers around the world. And you can make money from the hobby that you love at the same time. So we're in the process of creating a brand new gorgeous floral pattern for spring. So we're going to hop over to our design tool now, and Sophie's going to show you how to get started and use our features. So what are we going to do first, Soph?
Right, let's have a look. So we're going to start off with our project palette as well. So this is where you can pick all your colours that you want to use for your pattern. And there's a really easy way to do this as well. So you can head to the full palette section, and from here you can either search by your thread code, which could be DMC, or you can also select anchor as well, which we've got on here.
And do we have every single DMC colour?
We try to have most of them on there, yeah, so they should all be up to date.
And if anything new, any brand releases a new colour, we update the system.
Yeah.
So can we add on one of my favourite colours here, which I say to everyone all the time, which is Peacock, which is 3766.
Oh, let's have a look.
Let's see. And how do we
can.
add that to our palette?
So we've just used the easy little search function here, and we've just typed in that 3766 because you knew it off by heart, and we add that to the palette.
And then if we go back to Project Palette, will that then appear in our collection?
That's right. So now that is now our active colour here, and there's some other bits that we can do with our colours as well. So we can sort of just add and remove them. So actually, you might think, oh, I don't actually need to use this one anymore. So you can just use the bin button here, and you can also edit them as well. So if there's a particular icon that you prefer to use, you can simply just change them up here. Press save, and it's all updated for you.
When I'm designing, I always quite like to pick a symbol for the colour that reminds me of the colour.
Yeah.
I also avoid numbers because I think that sometimes gets confusing with the order of the colours. But I think you can have like a star symbol. I would probably always put that for yellow. A moon, I might put for blue. I think there's a heart symbol as well, which we could have for pink. But you can edit the symbols as well.
Yeah.
And if we didn't want to design with our 3766,
yeah.
if we wanted to add a bit more purple, how do we change the colour that we're using within the palette here?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll do a little bit with the blue that we've got here at the minute. So we'll just draw on the palette here. And now we've decided we don't want to use the peacock colour anymore. So you can go up to the toolbar at the top, and we can go to use replace colour, and it's selected our peacock blue colour, which we're using at the moment, and we can simply change it to a purple. Actually, this one fits really nicely, so we'll select that one. Replace colour, and it's updated anywhere that is used within the design for us already.
Fantastic. And if we wanted to just maybe design with 320, which we've got here on the left, so you just click that once and that becomes our active colour at the top.
That's right. So just select it, just check it's changed at the top for yourself, whichever one you're going to use, and then whatever tool you want to be using. So depending which type of stitch you want to use. So say if we want to use the pistachio and we want to use it in full stitch, select that and you're good to go.
So would you say choose your colour first, then choose the type of stitch you want to create?
Yeah.
In that order?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Right, we've got lots of people on. So, hi to Shelbert. We've got Cynthia Turnbull. Hello, hello. Nikki, we've got two Nikkis. We've got Nikki Dexter, who is one of our lovely Stitching Social hosts over with Caterpillar Cross Stitch. Fantastic. Okay, so we've chosen our colours and we have added new colours as well. So, full stitches is what I like to design in for Caterpillar Cross Stitch. But lots of people and designers like half stitches, quarter stitches. So can you show us, Sophie, how we do a little bit of full stitch, half stitch, quarter stitch, please?
Yeah, of course. So we'll pick a colour. We'll go for, let's try this terracotta here. So for full stitch, we simply select this one.
So that's just the full X.
Yeah.
Top left-hand corner, that's probably the most obvious and popular you're going to use.
Yeah, and then we've got our 3/4 stitches and the different directions that you can use these in as well.
I love those for rounding off corners.
Yeah, really great for, we can go and flip those. Oh, if I do the right way.
I designed some caps recently and it was really hard to get a nice cap shape, so I did actually use those stitches for the ears, the tail, stuff like that, and it really does change the pattern.
Perfect for woodland creatures, definitely. Yeah.
Noses.
And then we've also got the half stitch as well. So we've got a couple of options. So you can do these all in single stitches, but there's also the option if there's a bigger part of your canvas that you want to cover at the same time, we can use the 2x2 or 3x3.
So a large area, you get it done quicker.
Yeah.
We're all about saving
bigger pixels.
Saving time.
You can do that.
I think that the half stitches are nice if you're doing the sea, because as I have learned from some designs, a big block of, say, blue, if you're doing a lake or the sea, it's a lot to stitch. And actually water in particular, and clouds, have got that kind of texture where it doesn't need to be full coverage. And I do really like half stitches for things like that, where you kind of want it blending in and drifting out a little bit more. Questions for you guys over in the comments. Do you prefer just working in full stitches? Do you like half stitches? Let us know down below what you prefer. And then we're erasing now.
Yeah, and if we want it to erase it quickly, again, using this option with the 3x3 again, we can go over an area a little bit quicker.
And is there a button where we can just click, sort of go back, undo?
Yeah, so there's lots of ways you can go back. So there's in the top right hand corner here, we can simply go back like this, which will go a couple of steps. And we always recommend saving as you go, so you don't lose any work that you don't want. There's also the delete button here, so you can use that one and simply select over, and that will do that for you. Or you can be very precise and do per pixel. You can also do as well.
If you were sort of in the middle of the detailed design.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So with this one, if I was not into, say, the hot pink, I've got an aversion to hot pink, but instead I wanted that to be, I don't know, say, have we got 152 in here already? Let me have a look on the side.
Not in there, but we can add that on. Would you like that in?
I'm trying to think of a different pink. Why don't we replace the brightest pink for 155? I don't think we've got that in our palette. So we don't like pink, we just like purple. How would we do that?
Cool. So for a little trick, if you've got quite a lot of colours in your palette, even just a way just to find the colour that you're after really quickly, you can use the colour dropper one. Sorry, the eyedropper.
Eyedropper. Okay.
So with the eyedropper, I've now selected that pink colour we want to change. So by doing that, I then go up again to use that replace colour tool, and then I can pick a different pink. So maybe we go for like the Dusty Rose 151.
Yeah, let's do that then, yeah.
We can replace that one, replace colour, and then that's updated for us.
So if you use that eyedropper, which does look a bit like we're doing eye drops, we're putting drops in our eyes, automatically then it pops up in the top left under active colour.
That's right.
So if I wanted to know what the green is, the dark green, can you just show us how we find out?
So from the toolbar at the top, select the eyedropper, select over the green, and now it's my active colour.
We've got 700. Fantastic. Okay, now we've got lots of comments here. So Nikki is saying that linen is her preferred fabric, so I use partial stitches a lot and half stitches. Cynthia likes full stitches, but the half stitches can really bring certain things out. Shell says, I preferred full stitches when I was learning, but now I'm branching out to use more half stitches and things. So lots of variation there in the type of things that people prefer, and it is just personal preference. And also, you know, if you're stitching someone else's pattern as well, you can mix it up as you see fit. If you might not have enough thread left or something, you could just do half stitches and save half as much thread. Okay, fantastic. So what do we do next? Right, stitch options. Now we have erased already, but let's just go over that again. So we've got one pixel or stitch at a time. We've also got the option of 2x2 and 3x3. Now, can we use that if we were drawing, if we were adding stitches as well?
Yeah, you can use it to erase or to draw, and that is relevant to all of these options as well, for your full stitch, your 3/4 stitch, or your half stitch, and also the erase tool. So it's really handy, this tool, for a lot of reasons.
So if we wanted to do a lemon dark 444, and then we wanted to, let's say, add dots to our pot along the bottom. So now you've selected the 3x3. If you were to just click on the pot, would that add blocks of sort of 9 stitches?
Yes, that's right. So if we pop one here.
Okay. Fantastic. So it does make it easier if you know you want a bigger patch.
Yeah, exactly.
It just saves time.
Yeah, so there's your 3x3. Here's your 2x2.
Mixing up a bit.
There's your one. Yeah.
I like that pattern actually on that pot. Okay, great. So, if we were wanting to select part of the pattern, let's say sort of the big ball, I've forgotten the name of the flower now. Allium. It's an allium.
It
There are
is
some
an
growing
allium.
in my garden now,
Attempting to
actually.
be an allium.
They're
anyway.
not, they haven't bloomed yet, but the alliums are nearly there. It is April, if anyone is watching this on replay. So if we wanted more alliums, can we select that ball type shape,
Yep.
copy it, and then maybe pop another one underneath it?
Yeah, we can have a go. So there's lots of options. So we can use a select area tool.
Okay.
So I'm taking this one at the top here,
Yeah.
and then I'm dragging my mouse and selecting over the area that I'd like to cover. So I've got that here. So I've got a couple of options. I can either move it, I can cut that if I just want to delete it out, or we can also copy it as well. So for this option,
Yeah.
we'll use copy. So here we are. We've got another bit of that design. So say if we wanted that to sit, where would you like it? Particular?
Maybe underneath the other one. Maybe a little bit lower
Maybe,
underneath. Yeah, about there.
Around
I
there.
think it's a little one. It hasn't grown quite as high as the other one.
Yeah.
And then what if we wanted to do the same, but what if, can we flip it left and right so it doesn't look exactly identical?
Yeah, so we could just, again, take that item. So if we want to do another copy, we'll just place it over here just for a
Okay.
second. Place it over here, and then our option is we can drag that, and then we can use these options here. So we've got
Okay.
flip horizontal,
Yeah.
which moves it all around. Looks
That's
like
cool.
a disco ball there.
Yeah.
Or we can flip vertically as well, so we can move things around.
That would be really helpful if you were doing like a quilting pattern or just some sort of geometric pattern and you were doing corners, because then you could just design one corner of a pattern, flip it, and then just, you've almost done the whole thing and saved time. And then you've got your 4 quarters.
Really good for like borders around bookmarks, all that kind of thing. Just to,
Yeah, repeating patterns.
Yeah.
So, have we done a erase tool to remove pixels? If we just wanted to get rid of a couple of pixels
so
by
just
themselves.
a single pixel, so we'll just make sure that we're on the 1 by 1, which we are, which is perfect. So we can just use the erase full stitches tool, and so if I just want to take maybe just a couple of these pixels out, just do them individually at a time, we can do that. And then also there is another option here for erasing, which is for erasing any backstitch.
Okay.
So I'll quickly just add a little bit of backstitch.
Yeah, let's add some first, then take it away.
Yeah, so let's just grab that. So we'll go for this, we'll make sure our active colour is Dusty Rose, which we have. Right, and then backstitch. So if I just put a little bit on here, sorry it doesn't look the nicest, but just to show you very quickly.
And do you have to hold that down when you're clicking? Hold and drag?
You do, so
Okay.
you have to hold and drag, so you can drag it as far as you
Okay.
like, or as little as you like, to whichever point.
And can that go to any of those points where the lines cross?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. And then let's pretend we've changed our mind. We're
Yeah.
not interested in backstitch. How do we get rid of it?
So we just go to the erase section, and then we just make sure we're on erase backstitch.
Okay.
And then we simply just click on single line, and then it will kill remove for us.
And then that's not going to remove our full stitches that we've already done.
No,
Only
so
backstitch.
yeah, you need to
Okay.
go back to your full stitch for that.
So to add more greenery, we want to select the colour we want to use from the canvas and then build it up pixel by pixel. So if we wanted, say, some leaves to be a bit fuller, how would you find the lighter green and then build it up a bit?
Yeah,
Just, you know, one at a time.
the tip would definitely be to go to the eyedropper again, just to select it. I mean, if you've got one colour in your palette, you know, it's already going to be selected, but if you've got lots of colours, it's just a quick time saver. So we've got our parrot green selected, so I'm going to make sure I'm just on single stitches, and we can just build up a bit more of a leaf here. We actually want it to come out a little bit further.
So if you're holding that button down on the mouse as well, that is just drawing. You're not having to click each square.
Yeah, so you can either do single taps, which I'm doing now, so obviously you see the single taps here, or you can just hold on your mouse on the left hand side and give it a drag, and that's how it would appear.
Fantastic. We've got more comments happening on here. So Shell is saying that is on her list of things to try and make. I think that is either a bookmark or a quilting pattern that we were talking about before. And Nikki says that would be great for doing a born askew.
Yeah, great idea.
or sorry, I pronounced that wrong. A biscornu.
Biscornu.
Like a biscotti. Nikki says good for mandalas. So yeah, anything repeating like that is great. So if all those colours in the palette, there looks like they're quite a lot. Are there any that aren't used, and can we get rid of them if they're not used?
The only colours that you'll be using will appear when you export your PDF, but there is an option where you can just go through, and you can, obviously, where we said earlier, you can go through and you can sort of delete any that you know you're not using at any time. So we know that actually this medium light we're not using, so I can simply, are you sure you want to remove this colour? It will just ask you this, just in case it is being used. Obviously that would come out of your pattern if there is a colour that you are using.
Because I'm thinking for complete beginners, you might want to start with like 6 colours.
Exactly.
And then you would, of course, on your palette on the left be able to see all of those 6. You wouldn't have to scroll up and down. So we know how to add and remove our colours for our palette.
Yep.
So copying parts of the design, I know we did touch on this earlier with our allium, but can you just show us again how to drag the mouse, copy a section, and place it somewhere else?
Okay, so back to the toolbar, select area. So we'll try and grab a little bit of this flower that we've got here. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to move over here. So actually we want lots of these flowers. I'm just also dragging my mouse, and I'm going to copy it again. So lots of flowers. And then we can also select them. We can do the flip that we were saying earlier. So move it to whatever direction we want them to go.
And can we rotate as well? So if we want it to move in that way, just to make them not look quite as uniform.
Exactly.
As if we just copied them.
Yeah, exactly.
So actually, if you've designed a few simple elements, with something like this, with a flower pot, that's going to be really quick to actually build it up.
Yes.
You could almost design 3 different types of flowers, put them at the top of your grid, and do your pot separately, and then literally fill your pot with them, placing them in different ways, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. So next we're going to look at the design in different views. So you can really easily toggle between the views, because you might prefer symbols, colour blocks, or stitches. So if we're not quite sure what this is going to look like, we're assuming it's on white Aida fabric. How would this look in stitches?
Yeah, no problem. So we've got this option here, which is really handy, and we use quite a lot here. So you can look at all different views. So we can. So is it stitches you want to look at first?
Yeah, let's go
Yeah,
stitches.
stitches. So if you select a stitches view, it gives you a little bit of an idea of what your design would look like on your Aida.
That's gorgeous. And then can we see symbols as well? Because some people might want to stitch straight from the screen.
Yeah.
If you're doing it at work or something like that. Lots of people do prefer black and white. Let us know in the comments, are you more of a black and white symbol, or do you just prefer a block? I personally don't like black and white symbols, it hurts my eyes, but lots of people do prefer that. And once it's printed off as well, they prefer to use a highlighter or something like that to mark off your stitches. So let us know in the comments, guys, because I am interested. How do you work on a pattern like that? And you can zoom in and out as well.
You can.
What if we were struggling to see? How close can we get it on the screen?
Yeah, so there's a couple of options. You've got your zoom options here, which you can just toggle left and right, and you've also got here, so we can zoom up to 150.
That's really crisp and clear.
Yeah. And this is where you can really look at your symbols, and like you said, you can personalise those as well, so you could go on and change those symbols as you
Looks like
wish.
it's laughing, haha, with the H and the A. And then also just to note, those symbols are changing. So the darker the colour block, the symbols will then appear white, so it's really easy to see them. So you can see they're on sort of the darker brown, coffee brown, I think it's 938. The letter, the symbols change to white. But normally the symbol would be black. Just depends on the exact shade of the thread. Okay, so to centre the design then, if we have added elements to our design, it might not be central like it was before. So if we want to see what it looks like in a hoop, we need to get our potted plants here centered. So how do we do that?
Okay, this one looks fairly centered, but what I'll do is I will just move the whole thing.
Okay,
just so
off
we can,
centre.
just so we can see it a little bit more. So if I'm just selecting that, and then I'm going to use the move tool, which is here. So I'm just going to move us just down into that corner.
We know it's not central.
Yeah, it's definitely not central now. So if you go up here and you select on the edit bit all the way down to the bottom, there is center design, and there we go. You can see
That's
it's moved
perfectly in the middle.
Yeah.
And can we also crop that so that we don't have space around the outside?
You can. So in the same place again, just underneath that option we had is crop to fit.
Okay. So let's have a look. Can we undo that so we've got space again? Because I suppose once it's on the fabric, we would have a bit of space around the outside. Oh, there we go. So how would we look at that in a hoop?
Okay. So if we go to the view section and then we go all the way down to the bottom and there's view in frame.
Okay, and then we've got different options.
Yeah, that's not showing how I'd expect, so we'll just come back out and have another go.
If we go to hoop, it might look better because it is.
Yeah.
It looks like this design. I mean, I would probably put that in a hoop to finish it off.
Okay, so we go to view in frame, and then we go so we can see it within a frame, see it with a mount, and we can also show it inside a wooden hoop.
That looks much better in a hoop. I think that's definitely how I display that, and probably paint the hoop or add some cute washi tape or ribbon around it as well for spring. That looks fantastic. Okay, so how would we add some text to this?
Okay.
We could add a special date, a name, a quote, something like that. So whatever you think, how would we add some text?
Okay, so on the toolbar here we've got the text section, so that's really helpful. So we've got a couple of different fonts that we can pick from. We'll just use the top one just for now, and we can say, I don't know, a word, we'll just say hello just for now. Add text, and we can simply add it on there.
And if we thought that's a bit big, in hindsight, we've tested it, can we get rid of that and try again?
Yeah, so different ways. You can either delete it or you can go back a step, like we've just done here. So we can go text, and we've got the click and drag to resize. So you've got a few more options so you can sort of tailor the size of your text.
So if we wanted, let's say, the word bloom, and can we have a look at the fonts as well, just to see if there's anything else that takes our fancy from the top? Is there anything a bit more script-like? I mean, it is difficult in cross stitch. I mean, lobster as a font would be tricky. What about Poppins? I feel like that font, that doesn't look very big, does it? So you can use that scroll bar to make it bigger and smaller, and you get the preview before you do it as well.
You do, yeah.
So if you did want it to be tiny, you could do it like that, even though that doesn't look fantastic, but then once you put it in, so that doesn't look bad, sort of like there, but then what you could do is once that's in the design is then just take away a couple of pixels or add them, sweeten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's you can then play with it.
Yeah.
So actually the text tool then is really helpful to just get the words on there, choose the colour, choose your font, and then once it's been placed you can play around with it again.
Exactly.
It's almost just to do that first few stages for you, and then you can tweak it further.
Yeah.
Let's go back and see if we've got any more questions or comments. So Nikki says, I'm old school. I do highlighter first and then pencil them out on a paper pattern. Cynthia says that she prefers to work best with black and white symbols. Nikki says black and white symbols as well, but to be honest, I import everything into Pattern Keeper or mark it up these days. So everyone's different and it's just whatever works for you. So then we have added text, we have changed colours, we've moved things around. We've got rid of our text now, so we're just going to stick with our design as it is. We're happy we've put it back. And we want to start stitching. So how do we export our PDF so we can get ready?
Okay, so we're really happy that we've, if we're happy with the design, we've seen everything in sort of view and frame, so we know what it's kind of going to look like. We obviously press save just to make sure we're at the latest version of what we've got there.
Does it auto save at various intervals as we go along?
No.
We're not saving, so we do need to remember.
You will need to remember to save.
But there is a reminder, I believe, that pops up.
There is.
Every now and then, just so that you don't go away and do anything and forget to save.
Yeah, so just save little and often is always a good thing.
Yeah.
So if you go to the file at the top, and you have the option to export.
Okay.
So the export bit comes here, so you can choose whether you want to just see it in colour and symbols, or if you want the black and white version, or if you want both versions. So
let's go for both.
I think
yeah,
so.
May as well.
Both, and then we press export. And then that will be then sent to your email.
Okay.
PDF will be sent to your email, and it will cover everything that's on there.
Fantastic. So it's not popping up on the screen, it's sent to your email that you will have used when you signed up, as a PDF file that you can then print it off yourself, you can upload it if you then want to sell it on any platform or marketplace.
Yeah.
So with the PDF patterns then on Love It Stitch It, so you've got all the details on there of the finished sizes and your stitch counts.
Yeah.
You've got a mock-up of what it's going to look like, frame, hoop, what it will look like stitched. And it includes the PDF pattern in colour and symbols and black and white symbols as well. It's also got our handy tips. This might be the first pattern that you have cross-stitched. And finally, all of the details of the thread colours in there, the ones you chose in your palette. So you've got the DMC codes or anchor, the name, the order, and also how many stitches and how much thread you will need as well.
Really
Most importantly, obviously here we can see the yellow, probably 1 metre, I'm going to guess. The brown or terracotta for the pot, a little bit more. So it is really important if you're using from your stash to see what you've got, in your stocked up, or if you're going to the shops and you need to know how many skeins to buy. So that is it. I think we've covered most of the features and functions. There's a lot more tutorials on the YouTube channel. The Love It Stitch It video tutorials are hosted on the Caterpillar Cross Stitch YouTube channel, but I will put a link to that down below in the comments. So if you are ready to get designing something for spring, there is a free trial of Love It Stitch It. Please head over to loveitstitchit.com and sign up for a free account. We would love to see what you're working on. Don't forget to like our Facebook page and follow along. And also head over to our Instagram account, which is @loveitstitchit. There's lots of reels on there, videos, reviews. You will be able to hear from people who are actually using this right now and also selling designs on the marketplace. So don't forget to follow us on Instagram. And please share this with friends as well. Help us get the word out there. Tag friends in this that you think might want to design something. Share it on Facebook, across social media. And let's make this the #1 community for cross-stitch design in the world. Any last tips or comments?
Happy designing.
Happy designing, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with us. Keep checking back on the page for more helpful tips. Any questions, leave them down below, and we'll speak to you really soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.